Standard 8, lesson number 6, Science, Composition of Matter, Part 2. Now students, last time we have seen classification of composition of matter. So we have learned one way of classification of matter, that is in the solid, liquid or gaseous state, that is depending upon the state. Now second way of classification of matter, in this method criteria what we use, how we classify is chemical composition of matter, what is there inside that matter. Okay, if it is made up of only single thing, like suppose I take oxygen, all the molecules of oxygen will contain atoms of oxygen only, there will not be a second element in it, so that is known as an element. Element is the basic thing which has a molecules or atoms of similar kind. That is an element. Then second is compound. Now compound has two or more than two elements and they are mixed in a proper proportion. Okay, the difference between element and compound is that compound has more than one element. Like suppose best example is water, which we use every day. So water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen, but it is not taken in any quantity. The hydrogen are two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen, they combine to form water. So in that proportion only, that is oxygen, if it is some amount, some atoms of oxygen are taken, exact double atoms of hydrogen are taken to form water. If there are 16 atoms of oxygen, then the hydrogen atoms would be 32. So H2O, that is in the proportion of 2:1, that exact proportion, that's why it is known as a compound. And third is a mixture. Now mixture is also a mixture, as you can see from the name only, that it is made up of different elements, but here they are not mixed in, they do not combine in a proper proportion. The proportion can change, it can vary or it can change. Now let us read this. We have seen in previous standard that matter is classified into three types: element, compound and mixture, by considering whether the smallest particles of matter are similar or different and what are they made up of. So in an element, the smallest to smallest particle will be same like the main element, whereas in compound the smallest particle will have hydrogen and oxygen. In case of water, all the smallest particles in an element or a compound are alike. In a compound or element, the smallest particle of water is also has hydrogen and oxygen in the same quantity. However, the smallest particle in a mixture are of two or more types. Now when you take a mixture, it can be, the smallest particle can be any of the whatever contents are there in the mixture, it can be either of that content. The smallest particles of an element contain identical atoms. For example, each molecule of oxygen contains two oxygen atoms in a bonded state. Here we have seen oxygen has two atoms which are in a bonded state. So this is known as an smallest particle of an molecule of oxygen. The smallest particle of a compound are formed by joining two or more types of atoms to each other. For example, each molecule of water contains two hydrogen atoms joined to one atom of oxygen. The smallest particle of a mixture are atoms or molecules of two or more elements or compounds. For example, the main constituent molecules of the mixture, namely air. Now when we take the mixture air is a good example of mixture which we see around, which we feel around us. So what is there in the air? Molecules are nitrogen, oxygen, argon, water, carbon dioxide. Similarly, the mixture and alloy brass contains atoms of copper and zinc, while bronze contains elements copper and tin. Now sometimes the content of this, all these things in the mixture can change. The oxygen level in air can reduce or can increase. The carbon dioxide can increase where there is more population, where there is more pollution because of population, because of vehicles, because of different things. If there is more pollution in the area, in the atmosphere, then the amount of carbon dioxide will go up. And where there is greenery, where there are many trees, where there is jungle or there is no vehicle anywhere, then in that case the oxygen will be more. So in a mixture, the constituents, the amount of the constituents in the mixture can change according to the surroundings or many different factors. In the figure 6.4 shows a schematic submicroscopic picture of the types of matter, namely element, compound and mixture, and also their characteristics. Now let us see what are these characteristics of a element, compound and now element, first element is nitrogen. See, these are the molecules of nitrogen. Then this is oxygen. They are shown in blue color. They are 2 2. See here, N2. So they are always in a pair. Same way oxygen is also always in a pair. Now when the compound is formed of NO2. Now here what happens? One molecule of nitrogen combines with two molecules of oxygen. So see here now. One white and two blue. Why? Because only one nitrogen is there and two oxygen are there. Then nitric oxide, that is NO, equal now. NO, that is equal. So one oxygen, one nitrogen, one oxygen, one nitrogen. Now we have mixture. Now this is a mixture. Now this is an element where they nitrogen has only nitrogen atoms, oxygen has only oxygen atoms. In a compound, they are oxygen and nitrogen both, but in exact proper proportion, NO2. So there will be one N and two O. Here this is NO, so one N, one O. Now this is a mixture of N2 and NO2. Now this is a mixture of nitrogen and nitrogen dioxide. So there is no definite number how much nitrogen will be there and how much nitrogen dioxide will be there. Same way this is a mixture of nitrogen and oxygen. So it can change. There can be more molecules of oxygen, there can be more molecules of nitrogen depending upon the area, depending upon the atmosphere. Constituent substance of element is only one, and it is that element itself. So in an element there is only one constituent substance, that is the element itself. All the atoms or molecules of an element are alike. See here, now you can see any molecule if we take, they are same. Here also in oxygen, any molecule if we take, it is same. They are joined by chemical bonds. They are joined to each other by chemical bonds. Atoms or molecules of different elements are different. Now here we have seen this is nitrogen and this is oxygen. They both are different from each other, but inside this oxygen is similar, nitrogen is similar, but nitrogen and oxygen are different. Now in case of compound, constituent substance of a compound is only one, and it is that compound itself. All the molecules of compound are like, that is same. Constituent atoms of molecule of a compound are of two or more types and are joined to each other by chemical bonds. Here also they are joined by chemical bond, and they are two or more. Here now we have seen only two. There is nitrogen dioxide and nitrogen oxide, but in some compounds there are more than two elements are also mixed to form a combined to form a compound. The proportion of constituent elements in a compound is constant. Okay, so NO when we say, so 1N and 1O. NO2, so 1N and O2O. 2O will be there, that will be constant. Properties of a compound are different than those of constituent elements. Now here, this is very important. Why? Because now see, oxygen, property of oxygen and property of this nitric oxide which contains oxygen are different. Same way property of nitrogen and property of nitric oxide is different. So the property of element and property of the compound which is formed due to it can be completely different also. Remember this. So this property of oxygen, best example is, let us take the oxygen and let us take water. Water contains oxygen, isn't it? Now for burning, whenever we burn anything, whenever we burn candle or when we burn the fuel, when we burn our gas stove, anything, what helps that burning is oxygen, isn't it? The oxygen in the air helps burning of any substance. Now oxygen is there in water also. So does water help burning? No. When we put water on any burning object, what happens? The flame extinguishes, the flame goes off. If I am burning a candle, the candle is burnt with the help of the oxygen which is in the air. But if I put water over the candle flame, what will happen? It will stop burning, it will be extinguished. Why? Because water does not help burning, whereas oxygen helps burning. So oxygen, even though it is present in water, the property of oxygen to help burning is not shown by water. It is exact opposite. So the property of a compound and the difference are different than those of the constituent elements. So even if the element has one property, the compound which is formed by that element with someone else has some different properties. Now here mixture. What is there in a mixture? Let us see. Constituent substances of a mixture are two or more elements on a compound. So mixture has two or more than two elements or compound. The mixture atoms or molecules of a mixture are two or more types. The constituent molecules of mixture are different from each other and not joined by chemical bonds. They are not joined by chemical bonds. Here both places they are joined by chemical bonds. Here they are not joined by chemical bonds. The proportion of constituent substances in a mixture can change. In mixture the proportion can change. Now best example which we can see here is tea which we make. We make tea or sharbat at home. Now some people like lot of sugar in their tea, so they will add more sugar. They will add tea powder, they will add water, then milk, and they will boil that tea. So some people don't take at all sugar in their tea, they like tea without sugar, so they will not add the sugar. So in both cases the mixture which will be prepared will be known as tea only, but the constituents will be different. Some constituent some will have very less sugar, some will have very less milk, others might have more sugar, more milk. So the proportion which is taken of the constituents in any mixture will be different. So suppose we are making limbu sharbat. So limbu sharbat, or some might like very less lemon, some might like it more lemon, more sour, some might like less salt, some might like more salt. So the constituent in a mixture will depend upon us, like what we want to do. The properties of constituent substances are retained. Constituent substance properties means, now the taste of sugar, when we make tea, will the taste of sugar change? It will not change, it will be sweet. If we add salt in a sharbat, will its taste change? No, it will taste salty only. But let us take an example. When we burn sugar, suppose I take sugar in a spoon and I burn it, what will happen to the sugar? It will completely get black. Now if you taste that black substance, will it be sugar? Will it taste will it taste sweet? No. Why? Because we have burned that sugar and its chemical composition has changed. So the chemical composition changes when we burn sugar or when we form an compound. But in case of a mixture, the chemical composition of the element does not change. So element compound mixture, a schematic submicroscopic picture, and the characteristics are shown here. Now do you know water? Pure water is a compound formed by chemical composition of elements hydrogen and oxygen. Whatever may be the source of water, the proportion of its constituent elements oxygen and hydrogen by weight is always 8:1. So wherever water we get from whichever source, we get from rain, we get from river, we get from our tap, we get from pond, the proportion will always be same. It is formed by the chemical combination of gaseous elements hydrogen and oxygen is a hydrogen, and oxygen is a now hydrogen is what? It is a gas. What is oxygen? It is also a gas. But when they combine to form water, the water is in the form of liquid. It is neither inflammable nor does it support combustion. On the contrary, it helps to extinguish fire. Now hydrogen gas is very inflammable. Inflammable means it catches fire very quickly, whereas oxygen helps that fire, isn't it? Hydrogen burns and oxygen helps the burning. But what happens when they combine and form water? They neither water burns nor it helps burning. It is contrary, it is the opposite. It helps to stop the burning. So the properties of the elements and properties of the compounds are completely different in some cases or in many cases. Now types of element. Take the following objects: iron, nail, sheet, copper wire, aluminium wire, piece of coal. Now record the observation. We have to see, if you have these things at home, you have maybe having iron, okay, you may be having copper wire. Copper wire is the wire which is used in the electric wires, okay. Aluminium wire, piece of coal. If you have, I don't know, rub each object on a fresh surface of sandpaper. Sandpaper, you know, the paper which is used by the painters and all to rub the walls before painting. That is the sandpaper. So when we brush all these things with a sandpaper or hammer them. Hammer means with the help of the hathodi you have to hammer this. Now what will happen after that? We have to record our observations and see what we observe. Okay, so iron nail, is the surface shining? Iron nail, does the surface of the iron nail shine or not? You have to say yes or no. Does the shape flatten, break into small pieces and hammering? When we hammer the iron, when we use the hammer, what will happen to it? Whether it will flatten, will it will change shape? Yes. Copper wire, is the surface shining? Yes, the surface is shining. Aluminum wire, does the surface shine? Coal piece, does the surface shine? Do you get shiny? Can you see shine things, shine on it? So you have to write whatever. And after hammering, does it flatten or does it break? That also you have to write. The above objects in the above activity are made up of elements iron, that is Fe is the it is the name of iron, and this is the symbol of iron Fe. Copper, the symbol is Cu. Aluminium, the symbol is Al, and carbon, the symbol is C, respectively. Fill the following table on the basis of the observations on doing the above two tests on each objects. We have two elements having shiny surface. Now out of this, which have, out of these four, iron, copper, aluminum and coal, which have shiny surface, that much you have to write. Elements that flatten after hammering, which elements will become flat or which will break? Elements with a dull surface means which is not shining. And elements that break on hammering, which break? Some elements flatten means they become flat, and some will break. So what will break in this? Coal will break. Flatten, I think iron, copper and aluminum all will flatten. And dull surface, aluminum has dull surface, coal has dull surface, iron also I think has dull surface. I have not seen any. Sometimes iron nails, they are made up of a shiny surface also. I don't know exactly now. They are iron nails or they are steel nails. Sometimes it can happen. We have to just inquire with the shopkeeper whether this is iron nail or what, because if it shines, then it might be made up of something else. Now, type of compound. Some compounds are seen. Now they are called organic compounds. When we burn any compound and black colored thing is left, like sugar, I told you earlier, when we burn sugar, now this experiment you can do at home. Take a little bit of sugar in a spoon and hold that spoon over the flame. Be careful, that spoon will get hot and you might burn your fingers. So keep that spoon on the flame. You will find that the sugar starts burning. There's some small noise starts coming, hissing, and vapor starts going out of the sugar and it turns black. Now this black thing is organic compound or carbon compound. So all the carbon compounds which are formed, when they burn, they leave behind black colored carbon. Black colored carbon is left behind. On the other hand, the compounds that decompose on strong heating to leave be a residue are known as inorganic compound. Residue means they leave a powder like thing. Suppose common salt. If we go on burning common salt, you take salt and burn the same way like sugar, it will not turn black. They will, some powder like thing will be left behind. So this is known as an inorganic compound. So we can divide the compounds further into organic compounds and inorganic compounds. Now what are organic compounds? Which after burning leave behind carbon or black residue. And what are inorganic compounds? After burning, they leave behind a powdery residue. Those are inorganic compounds. Now type of mixtures. Let us see the different type of mixtures. Okay. First is, now here see, take 3 beakers, take a little sand and water in the first beaker, crystals of blue vitriol and water, some blue vitriol and sand. Now this blue vitriol, instead of that, what you can do is, first you can take sand, and in the second you can take the salt and water, and in the third dish you can take salt and sand. That, or you can take sugar and sand, sugar and water, and sand and water. So instead of blue vitriol, what you can take is, you can take sugar. In place of sand, you will take sand only, or you can take mud, anything. Now what happened? First, in the first beaker, in a first glass, or you don't have to take beaker, you can take any small vessel or a glass. So first glass, what you will add? Sand and water. And in the second one, you will add water and sugar, and in the third one you will add sand and sugar. Now what type of mixture is formed? Stir, take some blue vitriol and sand, stir the material. You have to stir means you have to move it around with a spoon or something. Now let us see now what happens. Where there is in case of sand and sugar, and in case of sand and water, and in case of water and sugar, you have to observe what happens in case of, first let us see sand and water. Do you think sand will dissolve in water? No, sand will be remain down and the water will remain up. You can just do it and see at home. Second, in case of sugar and water, what will happen? Will the sugar be seen after some time? No, because it will dissolve. So that is known as a homogeneous mixture. What it is known as? Homogeneous. Homogeneous means when we don't see the all the constituents of that mixture are unseparable. On we Unseparable means with eyes we cannot see them separately. We can separate them later, but when we look at that mixture we cannot see sugar and water separately. For example, let us take tea. When we make tea, can you see the sugar or the tea leaves or the milk separate in the cup of tea? No, because that is a homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous means it becomes one. Next is heterogeneous. When sand and water are mixed or sand and sugar are mixed, even if I keep it for 2 hours 3 hours, will the sand and sugar dissolve? Will they become one? No, they will remain separate. Same way sand and water will also remain separate. So that is known as a heterogeneous mixture. Hetero means separate. Homo means together. So homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous, see, for compound we have two type of compounds. Which two compounds we saw? Organic and inorganic. And for mixtures we are now going to see homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture.